What's good, YouTube? It's your boy ZcTradez, man. Look, today we're gonna be going through week 3 of our backtesting log. Y'all probably like, we ain't getting no week 2. Keep in mind, we skipped week 1, so week 2 is actually week 1. Week 3 is actually week 2. So first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start from the top down. This is actually this is right. So I'm looking at the daily chart. I haven't done this before. I made this video. I'm doing these as I go along with y'all, so everything is as if it's happening live in my mind, and that's how it's meant to be presented as well. So one thing I'm keeping in mind is this. Let's get rid of all this shit. Blue is daily and weekly POIs. Purple is hourly and under. So first thing first, so as y'all can see, it's important to annotate the weekly calendar when we're looking at this weekly framework, as well as the intraday, but especially the weekly. Because check this out, if we could displace above the BISI annotated in blue, the one I was mentioning is this one, then I anticipate us to draw towards all-time highs and the inefficiencies right before it, that being this. And if there's some small area in here slash whatever is right on this side, so so just this small inefficiency here, and we would end up using this as support to help us press higher into that. However, if we use it as resistance, then I anticipate a run back lower into this POI and this POI on NQ, and possibly consolidation in between these two until we get a news driver that has enough volatility for us to break out of the range. Let's keep it simple, just break out of the range for real. And also let's check it out though. So peep how weak this week is, right? You got a bank holiday right here, then you got no news until Thursday. It's disgusting. And then you got 9:45 news on Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, nothing. But right here on Wednesday, you got FOMC press conference. So you have all of this time to engineer liquidity for that. And there's a potential that these won't do much. There is a potential for that. I'm not saying that it won't. We're definitely gonna move somewhere. We're gonna have some moves whether we're in a range or not, but this is gonna be important because that's the highest volatility news driver that's gonna happen within the next 3 weeks. So let's keep that in mind. Let's drop down into Monday's a holiday, and we just moved 200 points. Damn. So Monday's a holiday and we move 400 points. Is that 400? Now that's crazy. And what that means is most likely Tuesday, though it's not a holiday, isn't going to have much of a move for us. I don't really like where we are, I'm not gonna lie, and these PD arrays are kind of messy, so bear with me. I'm about to do some cleaning. I ain't gonna lie. No, this is actually solid. This should be used as resistance. This plays through it should be used as support, and that's exactly what's going on. Let's see where that daily candle closed at. Okay, cool. So this daily candle should be used as resistance right now as well. And let's just update this. Yo, like these videos may be boring for y'all, but the ones that do watch this shit, you gonna understand the way that I think. You gonna understand a little bit more about the markets. And to be honest, I ain't gonna lie. In my mind, these videos aren't the most useful that they could possibly be right now. Like, their potential is not maxed out yet. Their potential peaks once I get to where I'm going. Because once I get to where I'm going, there's gonna be people who don't have the opportunity to work with me, but want to work with me. And these videos, there should be 50 of these. Will be for them. And some of these videos are gonna be very fucking boring because a day like today, I don't feel like doing this shit. But that's the exact reason why I'm doing this shit. And some of them are gonna be entertaining. But through and through, this is how I'm testing everything. And this is how we're gonna know what works and what don't work. Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys, man. I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys, man. Everything gotta be tested through and through. Because I've been doing this for so long, right? In reality, I've been trading ICT for 3 years. Only been trading ICT for 3 years. And before that, I wasn't really trading for real. I'm saying, I think I traded Doyle for like 3 months before I started trading ICT. Before that, I was taking signals in an IML, you know what I'm saying? And that was 5 years ago. I had quit trading a year into that IML, came back to trading probably like a year and a half later. But like, we forget, because we so desensitized to this shit, how insane this skill set is. Like, everybody I show this to looks at this like, what the fuck is that? Like, what are you even looking at? Like, it's going like this and shit. It's going like this. Like, you draw boxes on this shit. Like, what the fuck? What are you even looking at? But in our mind, all of this shit makes sense. In our mind, like, we see a way to change our life forever in this fucking confusion that nobody else can understand. So, we also understand how difficult it is to do that. Because while everybody else sees these lines and these graphs and these boxes and things like that, we understand the psychological aspect of this. And so, like, nothing should be left, what do they say? No rock should be left unturned. And this is part of that. This backtesting live in front of y'all is part of that. Trading live in front of y'all. Bro, I've only posted 2 trading videos, and that's because I've only placed 2 trades. And if you look at what we're doing, it'll make sense why. Because we're narrowing down the higher probability days and taking those setups. The medium probability days, this data says it's low probability. It'll mess up your profitability. So we're just not doing that live. And we turning every stone, bro, so that we don't have to live. Because there was a while when I didn't backtest. But there was a while when I backtested day in, day out. And I was killing shit. And I was making money. I'd stopped making money when my mind thought I didn't need to do that anymore. When I didn't need to keep the blade sharp. This series is going to expose a lot of things. It's going to be very, very helpful. Because I'm literally putting it all out there, bro. I'm literally putting it all out there. And eventually, maybe one day, I'll start charging for my time. And helping people one-on-one and things of that nature. But this is going to be here for the people who can't afford that. People who don't want to do that. This is going to be there for anybody else outside of that. And the people inside of that. That's my goal with this. it's just a win-win because it helps me too. Helps me stay locked in as well. It gives me something to be accountable with. And it also, I can forge my sword, and then live I can say this is what it's supposed to look like. I compare this live data to this backtesting data. I can say, yo, live, nah, this will be a data we skipping in backtesting. So if I enter on a trade in that day, off rip I'm in the wrong. I don't gotta wait to break a rule. I'm off rip, I'm in the wrong. You know, this gonna help a lot of people. Alright, cool. I want to monitor this to see if this daily POI will be used as resistance on both assets, in which case we'll find a lower time frame terminus for our A to B. Need to see SMT form as well, and also want to refine this POI into a more exact area. Longs are unlikely. We expanded yesterday and it was a holiday, so we can anticipate today to be lower volatility. The algo will delay objectives for when the bigger liquidity can get in and be hidden by the news drivers. So there's a potentiality that we chop and are presented with no move today. Now, these videos are meant to be watched in order, so if you guys don't understand the model or exactly why I'm looking for SMT on one side and not the other side, you might want to go back and watch that video day one or the week one. Everything will make sense inside of that. I'm not going to re-explain every single video. So let's draw down until it's 1 hour. I can already see on this daily chart today will likely be a no trade today unless we get SMT on the highs. And I love this area right here. It's beautiful. And if we ever do expand above this, this will be used as support. So like, these are the type of PD arrays that you keep on your chart. Like, you don't just throw them away. I'm saying, like, for example, this right here, we annotate this and use it as a target, and we can see that that's a target when we're all the way down here and we begin a market maker model. But if we displace above it, then this is going to be used to go to our next target, which is where likely this liquidity here. But we have to keep in mind that this is a valiant level as well. Plus we got this daily right here. Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that we have this level, this hourly level, and this hourly level sitting here on a day after a holiday and 2 days before our first news driver of the week? There is a range here, but it's type small, I ain't gonna lie. And even though we expanded yesterday on a holiday, which was clearly manipulation, we still were confined to that range. Now, the only thing that I do want to keep in mind is that this is a daily POI or PD array. So it's stronger than this hourly for sure. But what's the higher time frame narrative? Now, if we look at NQ, I annotated this because it's a mostly unmitigated DD array. We're going to keep that in mind as well throughout the rest of the week, because it's going to be used, guaranteed. And if I want to short, then preferably I want to see shorts happen from this area on both assets. Now the problem is, if NQ reaches up there, ES is going to displace past it, and then what? Then I'm likely not even willing to trade, especially because I'm not longing past a daily against a daily. Realistically, I want to see SMT and shorts inside of this. So, alright, cool. So there's two scenarios here that I'm looking to participate in. Scenario one, we see SMT inside of our POI, which on the highs is what I mean. We short down into the hourly BISI below. Simple A to B, high probability shorts. Scenario two, we trade lower first without SMT on the highs. into the hourly BISI, which we're going to refine if this happens. Then we long back up into our SMT expecting POI. So this is a POI that we got to keep in mind too. This small SIBI right here, but realistically I want to see it reach back up into that daily POI, because the last time that we reached into it was yesterday. It's not like we reached into it overnight or nothing like that. So there's already SMT on the highs. I don't count SMT unless it forms like within the 10 minutes from the volatility injection to after the volatility injection. And that's a tested thesis as well. And she gone. And you see why? Oh no, I'm actually tripping. Hold on 1 second. Let's let this play out. Most likely we're gonna run and take these highs again. And with that being said, I have to rewind because I'm so busy looking at this and not analyzing this chart. So yeah, we're shorting off, right? And is this is London. Okay, so 1 second. Let's check this out. So this happened at 9 o'clock. This same SMT that formed with the 90-minute SMT as well. Here it is, right here. This is the real SMT. We scooped up Asia session high. These are things that I've only learned through testing and seeing like, yo, why did this work? Writing it down and forgetting about it for real, and then coming to another situation and being like, yo, why didn't this work? Writing it down and then being like, oh shit, I've experienced this before. Oh shit, I can go back on my notes and look at it this day. I can do it this day because I got this layout in the Notion. I'm saying, I'm like, oh shit, so SMT, if we don't form, and it's all right here as well. It's all right here as well. Economic calendar rules. For let's say 9:30 New York open, if we don't have 8:30 news, right? SMT must be created before expansion. So if there's no SMT prior, count on 9:30 to go create it. If we're bullish without SMT, look at sell side liquidity and vice versa. If there is SMT formed by 8:30, count on 9:30 to expand. Like these, bro. Like, bro, let me tell you something. Like, all of these rules, these are not just rules that I'm like, okay, this is my model. No, like, these are rules that from me saying, this is my model, this is how I've had to tweak it since then. This is how I had to tweak that. This is how I had to tweak this. Matter of fact, I'm throwing this in the garbage and we doing this. Boom, boom, boom. Just constant swapping. Like, this is a Frankenstein build, bro. It just so happens to make sense. Quarterly theory worked for me. I did so much digging on that, so I kept it. But the market maker model was working for me before quarterly theory. I went and got a mentor because I had screws loose in this shit. Shout out my mentor, Ethan. He used both. I don't think he used quarterly theory, but I use quarterly theory because it worked for me. And I use both. And this really just a Frankenstein model, bro. Everything, every small thing, it was tested over and over and over and over. And over and over and over and over. Again and again and again. Like, all of this shit makes perfect sense. And it was forged in fire. So, when I look at this and I'm like, yo, I don't count this SMT that formed at 9 o'clock. We have to go create another SMT. Notice how we chopped around up until we did that. Why is it that? When we created that SMT, we began to short on ES. Also, NQ did end up using this POI to short. So cool, bro. It is what it is. With that being said, though, we're not going to be looking for no scenario 2 because the proper SMT was put in. And yeah, if this was up to me, I'd be looking to target some type of inefficiency along this. This is a long wick. If you know wicks are gaps, then you know that there's going to be somewhere in there where we stop. There's going to be some type of inefficiency in there because price was moving so fast. That's how I created a wick. And we're just going to annotate this just so that we can keep it in mind. Because this would most likely be my easy target. Because I really do believe there's a low probability of us coming all the way down here and taking this low. Because this is just look at that. Like, this the type shit that happens on the low probability days, bro. I do want to see something and know something, like, why did we stop here? What was accomplished here? The type of questions you ask, like, straight curiosity, bro, it'll get you far in this. Because there's no accidents in here, and we know that. Like, people really look at this, like, people look at us looking at these charts, like, yo, they looking at squiggly fucking lines. They probably just think that we looking at highs and lows and shit like that. Like, no, you really have to have an engineering mindset with this. Like, why the fuck we stop right here at 10:15? Currently, that makes zero sense to me. There has to be some type of inefficiency that price resolved. But why not this one? I mean, this, we just placed above it. So yeah, it's gonna be used as support, but like, damn. And it was used as support, but damn. Coming off of a daily POI, we should have walked right through that shit. I don't lie. This one, let me see something. I didn't even see this before. Y'all see that? Let's see. I guess that makes sense. I mean, even so, like, we came lower than that, and we displaced lower than that. But proof that it's an algorithm to this shit. Not that we need proof anymore, but if there's an algorithm, then there's a way that you can win. It's a way that you can do what you need to do. It's a way that you can get all of your dreams and pull them into reality. Cool. So we're gonna write. We're gonna take the time. And you know what though, like, it makes sense that we ran higher. We ran back up into that POI because it's like I say, like, I'm not entering unless we touch that POI. Because if we don't touch that POI, okay, let me not explain it that way. I'm gonna picture to you like this. What does a POI offer us? Point of interest is an area that we believe has enough support or resistance to cause price to turn or continue. Now, if I'm expecting price to turn, it in this daily POI, but we don't tap the daily POI and still turn, then what is providing the resistance? What is providing the power? We don't enter without a POI, and this is the reason why. And that'll be evident throughout the studies. Like, we'll keep seeing shit like this. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next day. And like I said, like by the time NQ reaches this POI, ES is gonna be above it. It's 10-2. Cool. Now this is where things gonna get a little strange, because ES opened above this daily POI. NQ didn't. We do it like this. What the fuck is we doing? ES. Shit not moving. Alright, we're gonna have to reload. Alright, cool. So I really don't like this shit. So look at how wide this range of PD arrays that I have to keep in mind are. We don't know where shorts may be presented from or where the resistance is for longs. So we have to keep in mind these areas. Now these two areas are the best areas that I can see. You know what I'm saying, as you can see, like this area was a target for price. That's why we didn't just displace through it like we displaced through everything else. We paused here. That being said, this is an area of support as well. So is this daily. But with NQ, this daily is resistance. But we've displaced above this hourly level here. So it should be used as support. So it's murky, it's messy, it's this whole thing is muddy. We do have this unmitigated here though that I am going to pay attention to. The problem is, you short off of this, then we could get stuck here. Now this is a daily POI, so we could just displace through it because the daily is stronger than this. But look at the structure right now. We'll see how it happens. So let me annotate this. Alright, cool. So this is very messy. Pause the video, read the rest. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna enter a trade today. It's not gonna happen, bro. I don't like this at all. So what's gonna happen is, hold on a second. We might have made a mistake. Yeah, quite literally nothing changes here. Nothing changes here. Yeah, so I'm gonna let it play out and I'm gonna stop it. This will be a no execution day for us, and this is the day before the first news driver of the week as well. So cool. So what happened here? Even if we were looking for longs, we wouldn't have participated in this. So that matters. So this is a very small range as well. This is low resistance liquidity here too. But we closed the day above this daily POI, so we've now officially kind of mitigated what was going on with ES. Kind of caught up with ES. So let's see what's up with Thursday. Cool. So it's gonna be a tough area. Alright, cool. So this is 8 a.m. I believe there is 8:30 news. Yep, on the 23rd. Yep. Alright, so this is actually cool. Being that we're using this daily as support now, and on ES we're inside of this area here. This is a daily SIBI. This is a daily SIBI as well. Preferably I would want to see ES come into here as well, but being that we got this, it still works. It's even higher probability since it's inside the purple POI. Thank you. I want to see something. What I'm trying to see is if there's a specific, if we can refine this PD array, if there's a specific level in here that price will target that's unmitigated or something like that. We already used this at London. Alright, cool. If we could dip back into these levels on these assets that won't see higher, NQ had the opportunity to create SMT with this newest created highs, meaning this right here. Why the newest created highs? Because these are the only highs that have a PD array that it can use. Now, this is a PD array, yeah, you're right. It's not one that I'm really paying too much attention to though. It wasn't used for nothing crazy. It was used to get to 22,000, but as you guys can see, it failed to act as support. It could act as resistance, but this unmitigated gap would be a stronger resistance if you ask me. And I said ES will have to monitor. My dumb ass. ES will likely reach for London highs because this hourly SIBI is here, and this is actually Asia highs. So, but these longs are the highest probability trades that we will come across all week, that we have came across all this week. So let's see if we can catch it. Now, as soon as both of these assets tap this blue or this purple, I'm on alert. But these are the specific sensitive areas that I have marked up. Let's hope we don't miss this shit. Cool. Now I need ES to do his part. this part. This is okay, but as y'all can see, we could enter here, right? Because the model is this. This SMT got displaced through. This is the buy here. Now, this is also on a 1 minute chart. On the 15-second, it might have happened earlier. Most likely did. So 15-second happened right here. This is a trade that we want to take. Let me just double check the area that we're leaving right now. I think this was the first gap that we were looking at. The first one that my eye was drawn to. Because of that, I'm gonna take it like this. Yes, it's but ugly. I would shoot it down, bro, with confidence. The only thing I'm not confident about is how we literally popped our heads in here and dipped. Like about one tick. One single tick on ES. I mean, yeah. That's the only thing, bro. I don't like that and I don't trust that. To me, that says we're gonna come back in here. It's not really a run on liquidity. Let's keep an eye out for that SMT. Being that ES displaced away like that, it's 9:38. We're gonna take a shot. We're gonna take a shot at it. We're gonna take a shot at it. And what was our target? Like I said, SMT has to happen soon. And if you look, it's already happening, but the PD rate for ES is up here. And PD rate for NQ is right here. So idealistically, I don't want to see this. It's happening though, so we're gonna see. Now it's important that NQ takes this high as well. Once NQ takes this high, then we took London high too already. Yeah, okay, so we likely ain't gonna reach our target. So how this is gonna happen is we'll catch some speed if we can get above this high on NQ, because then there's no SMT that's acting as pressure going against our bias. But most likely ES is going to reach into this area of resistance while we're somewhere inside of the range where I said that we need to be careful for on NQ, while we have SMT, and that's all going to go against this. Now, mind you, this is a daily POI. The hourly is not stronger than that daily POI, but on ES it's simply hourly. So we'll just have to be very careful. Right now we do have SMT, but ES is not there yet, so we ain't worried about it. And now we should catch some type of speed. And the reason we didn't short yet is why? Because both assets aren't in that POI yet. We had the SMT. Why didn't we short? I'm telling you, bro. I've done reps and reps and reps and reps of trying to figure just small, minute things like that out. Because if I didn't know that, I would be in shorts and I would have lost. And I would be like, why the fuck did I lose? Alright, bro. So, should see a little bit of speed. There's another SMT. Alright, cool. I want to see something. Alright, cool. Yeah, we're still inside of this. We'll likely see shorts, bro. I ain't gonna lie. We likely gonna run out this stop. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna monitor that lower time frame. Actually, we took out Asia. Yeah, in order for there to be no SMT here, NQ would have to come take this high out. And that's unlikely, so it's very unlikely. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna monitor these lower time frames. As soon as I see my model against where I'm going, I'm in. Right here. This will be the first entry, but let me see something real quick. It will be 11 o'clock. Yeah. That would be where I close this trade. That would definitely be where I close this trade. And that's just nothing but a 1-to-1. And realistically, it should be a little bit more than that, but we enter late. I am going to I'm going to count that. Won't count it late as it was, you get what I'm saying? Damn, get my fucking words out. So, what I'm doing now is I'm trying to refine exactly where I would want to see shorts from. Yeah, I mean, honestly, right here, that's cool. Yeah, we go. Only thing is, like, you're gonna short against a daily POI right here. And you know what? Now that I'm really think about it, these are like some of the small mistakes that I make. Like on days where I'm fatigued and shit like that. Or days with my head not in it. Or days where I didn't wake up and do what I was supposed to do. Like as of right now, this video been going for what? An hour? And then realistically, bro, I'm tired of looking at a chart by now. We all know how that is. So like, It's like stupid shit I forget all the time. I wouldn't have closed that trade. Why wouldn't I have closed? Why would I not have closed that trade? Because it's a daily POI versus hourly. That's why I wouldn't have closed the trade. And I'm just now realizing that as I'm sitting here saying, yeah, if we short, I can only short here because X, Y, and Z, when that's the same exact reason that I would have held the long. So, where we enter it, sure should have been entering. Realistically, and this is on a 1 minute, I like to use a 15-second. And we would have been targeting you can really target these highs wherever the day closed. Just let it rock. Probably take profit once ES finds resistance. But if ES is displacing through all of this shit, there's nowhere to stop it. This is where we close the day at. And that would be a 1 to what? This is 405. Be a 1 to 5. And what time? 9:35 to 4 o'clock. Real shit though, I'm ready to get off this shit. Facts. That was the 1 minute or the 15-second. Let me just check. If I would have entered on the 15-second like I should, we would have been getting in here. So it would have been a 20-point stop. It would have been a 1 to 10, I believe. The stop was half of this. 83. No, 1 to 6.8. Mind you, this is the easiest, most lucrative move of the week when it comes to my model. You get what I'm saying? If we're using a daily, then that daily's not concerned about this right here. That daily is focused on a daily cycled objective, not an hourly cycled objective. And with that being said, there's no asset tool, there's no PD array to oppose this. That's why ES continued up anyway. ES is the stronger pair right now anyway, so I believe that is the activation cycle that ES is now taking out. So what is this? And this is something that I'm paying attention to, because if you watch that first video, if the activation cycle is taken out, then we won't refer to this SMT anymore. We'll refer to whatever SMT was intact before it. And I really don't feel like looking for it. So we're gonna check it out. Let's see. So yeah, both of these SMTs is gone now. But we do still have SMT here. So that's good. We're gonna see if it lasts overnight. I ain't even get the shit in the journal. Fuck it though. With this SMT being here still, and what I say that as this being the activation cycle, because we ran out the activation cycles on ES. I'm glad it's Friday, ain't gonna lie. I'm tired of shit. And you know what? I'll probably end up getting back on here in like an hour or so and doing another week, but for right now, my eyes don't want to look at this anymore. When it's like that, it's time to take a break. This SMT is acting as an activation cycle. That being said, we'll likely use this or this to run up into this. And then once we reach this, I'm not sure what's going to happen. It all depends on the last SMT that I don't plan on finding right now. So we'll just have this short range that we're using. That'll make sense to some people, won't to other people, but it's gonna be one of them things that you'll understand more as you progress throughout the series. And if you ever come back to this video after that, then that makes sense as you progress. Damn. If you come back after that, then it's gonna make sense. Alright. Shit. Alright, cool. So looking for loans until NQ takes out the SMT on the highs. This is the main activation cycle currently. So if we take out this SMT and keep running higher than the last active SMT prior was bearish, but that's unlikely. It's very likely that it was bullish, and in which case, if we don't have SMT on the lows prior to us longing, when we take out the SMT on the highs, we'll end up shorting back lower. If we do create SMT on the lows, then we'll long until price meets its objective, and its objective may simply be to take out this liquidity right here. Being that this will be the week's close. Sorry, it makes sense that we don't close the week pressing new highs, pressing new territory. We'll likely take out an objective and curl back down and leave the weekly candle with a wick. You get what I'm saying? So and this works on ES, but preferably I want to see it come down into this. So this is all around a decent area. I'm not gonna lie, because know what, let me wait to say that until. Alright, cool. So yeah, most likely we'll long from this area. Alright, yeah. So I wanted to define this gap here even more. And I mean we really can, like right here. And I'm not even gonna draw these lines right now. Maybe use this. And this. See how it works out. See if we come that low in the first place. But we definitely don't have to. Alright. 9:45 news today. Alright. I mean, we left the POI. I'm not entering unless we come back into it. Because why are we leaving the POI when we don't even have news yet? ES can go create SMT. That's cool. It would end up getting ran out though, because we don't have a POI that has enough resistance right here on both of these assets. Now, I want to see ES come back into this area too, but honestly, it just might not. But I'm not entering without it. Could do whatever it wants. This 15-minute level is a decent level, but I don't use those without really hourly levels. So I'm gonna let it rock. If we come back down, we do. If we don't, we don't. Okay. 9:45 was the news that we had, and I just want to double check. No SMT on the highs anymore. Okay, we do still have SMT on the highs. Cool. All I need is ES to tap into this area, and I'm dropping to the 15 second. Like I said, I don't like how we just touch it like that. I don't trust it. With NQ, if we do that, then we'll likely end up coming right back for it. Like if we just poke at a POI on NQ, we're probably gonna punch through it later. But on ES, I'm not really sure. That's the model right there. So I'm gonna end up taking this. We're gonna see. ES is a little bit weird. I want to turn off this sound effect. And this would end up being the target. Now this is the 1 minute entry. This is a 1 to 2.5 or something. But the entry I would have really been scoping out live is this. Let me actually go back to where it happened. So right here. that's the lesson that I needed to learn. And also, I want to write that down. I just don't know where to put it. Alright, cool. So that's why it's important to backtest, bro. Because live, I don't know. I probably would end up taking it, and I maybe would end up taking 2 trades today. The second one is likely going to win, but even so, one loss was unnecessary. Cool. Sleepy though, never tired though, bitch ass nigga. It's 10:45 at this point. That was an entry right here. If this fails, then I'm going to count this as the first loss of the day. First one was an experimental loss. So that would be a 1 to 3.5, a little bit over that. And on the 15-second chart, that would have been an entry about about the same place. Not about right here, but it's not much of a difference. It's 3 points. So now, granted, I wanted to see if we could come into a more specific area inside of this, but we're gonna take it out. Alright, cool. Now let's see where we go long from. We don't go long at all. That's crazy. Okay, hold on. See, this is the type of stuff that keeps me back testing though. This is the exact type of stuff that keeps me back testing. Cause why are we shorting right now? There has to be a SMT that I missed or something like that. So we took it yesterday. 90-minute SMT somewhere. Yeah. Stop doing that weird freaky shit on my shit, man. None. No SMT. So this POI just wasn't strong enough. That's the logic that I use. We'll see. Things will make sense once we get to the end of the day. Okay, yep. So realistically, these was our bona fide levels. Bona fide levels, real shit. Proven levels. You know what I'm saying? And this is what Price was seeking out in order for longs to happen. We closed the day with no SMT on the lows. I mean on the highs. But still ended up shorting. And there are some scenarios like that where there's not enough POIs to have the proper support in order to bolster us higher. We'll short without SMT. Because we'll short seeking a PD array that has enough support to cause price to run higher and go create SMT. So, just out of curiosity, I'm gonna let the next day play, and I am gonna log this. think this was like an 11 o'clock trade. And I'm just gonna say 12. Cool. This was a 1-1. Damn, that's crazy. Hold on. God damn. Alright. Cool. So I might hop back on later and do the next week. But check this out though. Like, we have 3 weeks worth of data right now. Now, this is type trash. Like, we not making crazy amount of money. This is what I would think when I'm looking at this. But you have to remember, like, all in all, right here, this is 8, almost 9 R in 1 month. Some people do that shit in one trade. 8, almost 9 R in 1 month is extremely good. Let me just, this is 4, this is 1, this is 2.5. Okay, so 7.5 R in 3 weeks. This next week, we most likely gonna kill shit. This is the first month of the year. And it is very messy, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's gonna be days where we go in there and we do this in 2 days or in 1 day. Just like this past week live. Like, this past week live, I've gotten more R than I've gotten in this whole month. Just in 2 days of me trading. So, it's gonna be shit like this, bro. And the next week, most likely, just based off of what we just saw, it's most likely gonna be a whole lot better. It's a whole lot more volatile, as y'all can see. We got all of this to look forward to next week. So, usually that's about it for this one, man. We gonna get back to this here soon. I think I'm gonna just stop, eat something, and then get some energy. And I'm gonna hop right back on here and mess around, post these back to back, or maybe not. I don't know. We gonna see. Like I always say, tighten up. I'm gonna get you up with the next one, man. Peace.